Hey, this is Spook. We just wanted to give listeners a content warning about this episode, as considering the topic of this episode, we will be talking about themes and imagery that are a fair bit grosser and more unsettling than we typically do. I hope you enjoy our discussion.
Hello, and welcome to the Legendarium Green Team. I'm Jingalls90, and with me today is Spook.
Hello.
And today, we are diving back into Junji Ito. I think we're about a year out from the last time we did this. And we're going for one of the shorter, quote, long form comics that he has done, Gyo, which in Japanese does mean fish. Junji Ito likes to do his very specific titles. Uzumaki was Spiral. Can guess what that one is about. So you could probably guess what Gyo is about. Is
it about fish?
It is. Oh my gosh, good job.
So what's Tome about? What's that one about?
That's actually just about a person. I have
Name
no
Tome.
idea. Like Tome. Yeah. I have no idea what that name means. It might have a meaning. I'm not sure. But yeah. So this is one of, like I said, one of his longer novels. But it is shorter than Uzumaki by about 400 pages. So with that, we'll give you a little bit more of information. The original run for Gyo was in Big Comic Spirits. It ran from November 12th, 2001 to April 15th, 2002. It was eventually released into 2 volumes. And then when it made its way over here to the US, it was all put together into 1 volume. It's a very, very bizarre book.
To say the least.
So would you put this, like, let's just rank, we've read 2 Junji Ito things so far.
Officially.
What are you putting this ranking?
This is lower.
Wise?
This is a lot lower. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure if I've read anything else by him, it may be above this too.
Yeah. I have to agree. I think Uzumaki is one of those books that I just got a lot out of it. Like, I got a lot out of the art, I got a lot out of the story and the messaging.
Yeah.
This feels much more like your B film, right? Like, this is very much the
this isn't spoilers because we're gonna avoid that for a little bit. But when you say B film, when I started reading it, in my head, I'm going, why does this remind me of Mano's Hand of Fate?
There you go. That is exactly what this is.
Well, I haven't even I've seen like the beginning of that movie in the Mystery Science Theater 3000 version of it. But for some reason, I'm thinking of why am I thinking of Mano's Hands of Fate? That and a Flash game I played growing up called The Visitor.
Okay. I don't think I've ever detail. What is that about?
It's not fully like related to this. It's different. But The Visitor was a Flash game. I think there's a few of them where you play this little alien. It's very similar to The Thing. You're playing this alien. You're sneaking around a house. It's a point and click like adventure game where you're clicking around a house, eating things and like getting stronger by eating them.
Okay.
And you're like you're trying to dominate the world ostensibly.
Okay. I can see aesthetically why that might match up.
Yeah.
I can see that. But but yeah, I mean, this is really like Ito's B movie, like mad scientists plural, go out and do a thing and Japan suffers the consequences for it, and there's fish. Which I honestly did not know what exactly was wrong with the fish when I started this. I knew it was about fish. I knew it was about a stench. And then turns out that is not knowing a lot when it comes to this book.
I spent the entire beginning of the book trying to think of like, what is he trying to tell? Like what, because I feel like when Junji Ito or like other horror authors try and tell a story, they're trying to tell some sort of like moral or there's some sort of underlying tone that they're trying to go
Yeah.
for. I don't really think there was one.
No.
I have one to propose when we get into spoilers. It's more of a joke.
Okay. I think I might agree with you depending on what it is. Because I have the same thoughts. Like, this is, if there is any sort of moral tale in this, it is the thinnest veiled thing ever. And I can
Military
relate it.
science is bad.
Yeah. Like, I can relate it to a couple of different things. Like, I don't think it's really spoilers to like tie this to something like Godzilla, right? Where like we have a lot of concern about maybe environmental practices, and, well, I should say many. we there's acting like there's a lot of concern about environmental practices.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, what the Japanese government is doing to its country. So
It reminded me also. You bring up Godzilla. It reminded me of Joon-ho's movie, The Host.
oh, sure. Yeah.
I think more so, just more with the fish.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think one of the fish actually ends up kind of looking like that
Hmm.
in the middle. So, but yeah, do you have anything else that you want to say as far as the non-spoilers go?
I
Or should we just get
I think
into it?
I think one thing I could give it credit for above Uzumaki is the structure. I think beginning to end, it is one story. And so you're not. I really struggled with Uzumaki. I think one of my biggest complaints was when we were reading it, you're just getting all of these stories that are kind of related because they're all related to spirals, but it's not till the end that you kind of get an actual like serialized story. For this, it's beginning to end, you're reading one story, and it's
Yeah.
as the events are kind of unfolding.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like that structure in this. It still feels very serialized in that each chapter has its climactic point and then a
Yeah,
cliffhanger at the end. But you are right. Like, the idea of this story is continuous, and you're following two people specifically throughout this entire narrative, which you kind of are doing with Uzumaki, but Uzumaki is also really focused on like the bizarre things of the entire town. Um,
yeah,
Whereas this is, no, like, you're getting hints at what's going on outside of these two, and why you're getting hints in that way. I think is really pretty clear on because of the theme that the fish kind of represent in this, which I can't say right now, but it makes a lot of sense. That said, the character of Tadashi and Kaori are not my
so
favorites.
much worse.
Yeah.
So much worse.
They are pretty bad. um
The first
yeah.
chapter, I was not really spoilers, but the first chapter I remember just writing on our Discord messaging, uh, like these two people are terrible for each other.
Absolutely they
Like what
are.
a horrendous couple.
Yeah, I think, yeah, on my part I was like, I'm pretty sure Junji had like a girlfriend that he's not happy with at this point.
I think
Like,
they're both bad. I don't
they're
even think it's
both
her.
awful. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's one of those things where, though, it's like she's so much worse to me, like, because Tadashi's kind of just a nothing burger, like, if we're being
He's supposed to be your villain, you know?
yeah.
He's supposed to like I'm gonna live as him. I wouldn't shout at my girlfriend because
No.
something bad is happening to her.
Yeah. I wouldn't, like, I can't support any of his actions in this book.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, girl, you need to get over the smell because you got way worse things than a smell going on. Like, calm down,
Yeah.
please.
And then he's so nonplussed about all of it and like, oh no.
Right. It's like total other end of the spectrum problematic. So, all right. Let's go ahead and dive into some spoilers,
Yeah.
because I think that's really all we can say without getting into specifics. So, to get started, we'll just go ahead and read the back of the book here. Something's rotten in Okinawa. The floating smell of death hangs over the island. What is it? A strange legged fish appears on the scene. So begins Tadashi and Kaori's spiral into the horror and stench of the sea. Here's the creepiest masterpiece of horror manga ever from the creator of Uzumaki, Junji Ito. Hold your breath until all is revealed. So, yeah. I mean, that actually, I just realized that spoils a lot of this. I didn't read the back of this beforehand.
No.
But yeah, so were you surprised when it turned out the fish had legs and were zombies?
I mean, it's on the first page.
It is. It is. But
I was expecting them to be more like an alien mutation than a military technology gone wrong.
yeah. Okay. I think I had the weirdest impression of what this book was. I had like something in my head that like this was like a school and there was like a rotten fish that was like haunting people. I had no idea. I don't know where I got that impression
Yeah.
or that idea. And then it was completely wrong. So I was just completely thrown off like, the first couple chapters.
I will say on the back of the page, also just to shout out the last manga we read, Something's Rotten in Okinawa. I read that and went, oh, there's a demon lurking in Tokyo. Shout out Solidin.
What this one's a little more literal.
Yeah. It's not a metaphorical demon of growing up.
No, not at all. This is straight up just a shark with giant crab claw feet, like running around eating people.
Yeah. I'll also say I don't think this one's creepier than Uzumaki. No. I think it's grosser.
I think it's grosser.
I felt more nauseous reading this than I did Uzumaki.
Yeah. And I think this one does a really good job of like leading you into the grossness.
Yeah.
Whereas like Uzumaki, kind of to that point of having a bunch of separate stories with all these weird things going on, is they're just kind of immediately disturbing. But with this, you get like, you start with these fish that have these legs and you're like, oh, that's weird. And then you get one of the things clamps onto a guy's arm. Yeah. And he saws his arm off, and now it's walking around with a severed arm. And you're like, oh, that's even grosser.
Yeah.
And then you get the actual humans being turned into these things. And that is so disturbing.
And even like before them turning into those things, them getting the virus and then just constantly letting out the gas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the most haunting book with fart jokes ever. When you read this, there's a lot of graphic images of people just like puffing air out of their butts. Yeah,
and having pipes like jammed up there and whatnot.
In. It's so uncomfortable to look at. Way more than some of the body distortions that you see in Uzumaki. I feel spirals themselves.
Mm-hmm. Because I think in Uzumaki, I won't get into spoilers for that because this isn't related. I think there was really only one chapter, and it was the wasps.
Yeah,
I think that was the only one that I was like, ugh. Yikes.
I did have a visceral reaction to one of the first chapters. The father that does the clay.
Yeah,
I had a pretty visceral reaction to that one on my first read, but nothing in Uzumaki made me as unsettled as seeing Kaori for the first time after a month.
Yeah.
And she's just like this poor, like just bloated thing. And yeah, just has tubes shoved down her throat. God, we're going to need to put a warning on this episode, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with any horror kind of thing.
But just like, it just was really uncomfortable. And how do you feel about like the actual like constant descriptions of gas? Like did that bother you at all?
What do you mean? I guess I didn't notice anything that bothered me about it.
Okay. Well, I guess I mean more like, because we were actually talking about this on the Discord the other day. I think it was Kip Dan brought up like he like when he's talking about horrific things or talking about awful things, like smells make their way down the line for being scary, like they're at
Sure.
the very bottom, which is
Yeah.
not necessarily true in real life. Like in real life, if you smell something bad, that might trigger a pretty immediate response. I was thinking about that with this book because this book is constantly telling you that it smells awful.
Yeah. Until they kind of get used to
Yeah.
it.
And it's just one of those senses where I was like, this is a very visual medium, and everything I'm seeing is way worse than being told that it smells like death. Right? Like it's just
Yeah.
it's not something that my senses are necessarily triggering on any level, which is
Have,
kind of a bold move from Ito, I think, to try
ha-
to do that.
have you ever smelled like rotten flesh before?
Yeah, it's pretty
Okay.
gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking like cuz I have too, and I'm thinking about that as after it was like explained about what the scent is. I'm like,
So,
"Oh, ugh."
so no. So you did have kind of a reaction to it when they were telling her what was going on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I understood it for sure.
for sure. Okay.
It's not a good smell.
No, it's a terrible smell. It's awful. And even like and dead rotten fish is enough of a bad smell.
Mhm.
I grew up in around a lot of fishing boats, so I got very used to that smell. But it's nasty.
Yeah. I've left a there's there's one example I can think of where growing up I left like a ham sandwich under my bed.
Oh God. Oh no.
And then forgot about it for months. I think it was like in a backpack or something. And then one day I'm like digging around, like I pulled the backpack out and I'm like, what is that smell? And I pull out this just rotten, almost year-old ham sandwich.
Oh no.
It's like in a Ziploc bag, but it's leaking through, and that's the smell I was thinking of reading this book.
The cultures. It's alive. There's a whole sentient race underneath my bed.
It's the thing. The thing is under my bed.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that's pretty awful.
I will say, I think it's not better, but I do. We have been kind of ragging on the story itself, but the art is also just good.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Compared to Uzumaki, I would call it just as good.
Yeah. I think there's something really special in Uzumaki when you look at like everything, how spirals are incorporated into a lot of it.
A lot of more
That
like hidden stuff in it.
a lot more hidden stuff. This has none of that really, but that's okay. Like it's still Junji Ito very much at the top of his craft. It's just one of those might put Uzumaki above for me, but just barely.
Sure.
But there's still some stuff in this that I love, like the tubes coming out of the gills of the fish and like all the details of that.
Especially like early on when the shark is like making its appearance.
Yeah. Oh,
That
yeah.
was the
When
first
it
time where I
emerges
noticed the tubes coming out of the shark or out of the fish was with the shark.
with the shark.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they have like that extreme close up of his side, right?
Yeah.
And then
Several.
several. But yeah, it's just absolutely grotesque. That's the best word for it.
I also liked the whale coming out of the water.
The
That
whale
one was
like,
funny.
Okay, we're getting silly with it. Yeah. Well, that's what I did love. Going back to the shark really quickly. That's probably
Mhm.
like the most scary scene for me because it is straight up just like this guy sees a shark and he warns everybody and they get out of the water and everyone's okay. Look at what a great job
Yeah.
I did. I warned
We did
everyone.
it. We did
And
it.
then it's like, no, that thing's coming at you still. And it just bursts out of the water. And not only is it just a shark that's now on, it's a monstrosity. Like
Yeah,
it
it's
has so much
walking.
stuff going on.
There is a sort of thing you have to get behind when reading this book where you have to take it at face value of like, yep, this is happening.
Yep. This is like what I feel with most Junji Ito shorts, like shorter stories that I've read.
Yeah.
From like the anthologies is like there's not always necessarily an explanation. You're just rolling with it. You're here because you wanted a visual scare. And by
Yeah.
golly, that's what he's giving you.
Like, how is the shark following them into the house and up the stairs?
How's it even getting through a door? Like,
Yeah.
the only time that it actually breaks through anything, I think, is when it jumps out the window. Otherwise, it's like walking totally fine. And then there's also just like super goofy stuff. Like this obviously is because of the gas, but like the first fish they encounter, they put it in a bag and it starts floating around.
Yeah.
Like,
And then it
okay,
follows him to Tokyo.
yeah, but why? Like, there's no reason for that.
Yeah. It's funny.
It's just there for comedy.
Well, and then you just have the whole mad scientist aspect of it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, my father was the one that made that, so I'm gonna do it better.
Yes, I will prove my father's theory on chemical warfare.
And make a Zeppelin
Yeah,
that turns into a hang glider when a human cannon ball is shot at it.
Okay, yeah, that's something.
The
What do you make of
circus?
the circus? Yeah, what do you make of?
I don't know. I think the circus was he had all of these ideas and then went, I don't know how to fit these in. Circus time.
Circus time. There's some mise en scène here. We're gonna use that human cannonball again.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. The circus was the one thing I was like, okay, there's an internal logic to this story, and that just broke it for me. Like, I don't
It didn't
understand
like
what
really
we're doing.
get better after it either.
Yeah.
It just went full silly mode.
Yeah. Well, and it wraps up so quickly. Like,
Yeah.
I want to say the circus only shows up like 4 chapters before the close.
And it ends just
And it just ends.
it
Yeah.
ends, it ends like there are other horror movies that kind of end like this where it's like, well, you want to help us save the world, and then the guy stares off into the distance and like the end.
Fade to black.
Yeah.
Shot horizon line. Well, yeah. So that's kind of where I think a lot of those movies tend to be like zombie movies. Like they do a lot of this is all foobar. You're not gonna fix any of this.
Yeah.
So how do you end that story? I guess is like the hope of something better. The hope of improvement.
There's one movie that's like in my mind that I can't say because it is kind of a spoilery part, but it's an alien movie that I'm thinking of.
Okay.
That ends in a similar way.
Okay. We'll bleep it out. What movie is it? Oh, okay. I actually haven't seen that one yet. Check it out.
No,
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna be okay. It's gonna be.
It's better
okay.
going into that movie not knowing.
Yeah. That's the one movie I haven't seen yet. I really need to get.
We have to bleep that one too.
Yeah, we gotta.
It's the best one. It's the best one.
Yeah. The movies I was thinking of were like the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
I don't think I watched
Has
that.
a
I haven't watched.
similar-
Actually, I haven't watched a lot of zombie movies.
Okay. So, I mean, that's one example, but there's a ton where it's just like like you have to go to the horizon because that's the only option you've got.
Yeah.
And you hope that's going to be good enough, but it obviously isn't because all these movies always generate sequels. The sequels do not have any success.
We're looking at you, A Quiet Place.
Yep, exactly. Or any of George Romero's stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was kind of the thing I was alluding to earlier is like the I do like the creativity of giving us zombies that aren't quite zombies. Anytime that we do that
Mechanical
type of storytelling,
monsters.
mechanical monsters, or apparently like ghost powered mechanical monsters specifically.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of those shots are really cool. I do love the
Oh, yeah.
spirits floating in the air and stuff, but there is just no explanation for any of this. And then the people are talking about doing vaccine. It's like, I think you're going to need more than a vaccine. Like, you're going to need an exorcism or something.
Yeah, it's all messed up.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where I really don't like the ending. It just plays more into that B movie aspect where it just doesn't. It leaves a bunch of things open and it's quick. Because it is just like what happens at the end of this book. He sees Kaori he goes to the circus.
Mm-hmm.
He goes back to get Kaori and visit his uncle.
Yep. Not necessarily to visit his uncle, but to get Kaori free from
the uncle.
The uncle is in a Zeppelin now.
He becomes a Zeppelin.
Who's somehow sort of controlling it.
Yeah. And there's also like this weird play on like romantic jealousy.
Which was sort of teased earlier because
Kind of.
Kiori's, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there were some visuals of her like actually crying as the body, which suggests that she was actually in there
Yeah.
still. But that's never dug too deeply into because we end this book with Kaori's body getting burned, the Zeppelin going down by human cannonball, and then a bunch of
Hmm.
random people being like, "Hey, we're healthy. You're healthy. Let's go fix this."
Yeah.
Bye. Done.
But then he also it doesn't seem like he does it either. He's just kind of he just stares off in the sunset sitting next to Kiori's skeleton.
Yeah. Yeah. So who knows what he actually ends up. I don't know.
What a weird book.
That's the thing. Like I'm definitely trying to find other things to say about this book, but it is just weird. Like that is the thing. It is just weird.
I
Um
can give I do have a theory.
okay.
My theory of the underlying moral or plot or kind of like allegory.
Okay.
That it's an allegory for being in a toxic relationship.
I could believe that. You're probably I mean you're not rough, right? Like you're smart.
And it becomes everybody else's problem.
Yeah. Like literally the world's problem.
Yeah. But you can't break up with them. You can't give that up.
Right. Well, yeah, and I think you're kind of right. Like, I think that is a lot of what's playing into this because we do bookend it on like this level of jealousy, making Kaori fish run away. I don't know what else to call her at that point. Kaori
Bloat.
zombie run away. Yeah, bloat run away. It is what makes his uncle attack them in theory.
Because he's also jealous of what?
I don't know. Apparently, like it's
A
a problem.
romance spawning in a minute.
Yeah, one that has no premise at the beginning throughout the book. And then we also have at the beginning, we do have Kaori and Tadashi spending most of their time fighting in like pretty big ways.
Yeah.
But we never get to see this couple in any of those other moments that might be good. And so it does lack the depth for this like toxic idea, like this idea of a toxic relationship, because you just don't like them. Like they're just
No,
bad
they're awful.
together.
They're both awful just together.
And it's just frustrating to watch them throughout this entire thing.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
it's like,
they're just spending
guys,
their yeah.
come on.
I think you both can do better. I think you
Yeah.
could do that.
Kiori, get somebody who actually cares about you.
Yeah. Tadashi, get someone who
Tadashi,
doesn't annoy you so easily.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Figure it out. Grow up.
Yeah, grow up. And then there is still like the mad scientist stuff. I mean, I think like going back to the Godzilla idea, like there is still maybe something there about
World War II and
World War II and
Yeah.
not respecting the environment and suffering the consequences of the actions of the government in the long term. Like we're looking at the entire world and well, to start all of Japan and then eventually the entire world being overrun by dead fish.
Yep. That are somehow self-replicating structures.
They're like that's another part. Just gonna keep nitpicking.
The sentience of the gas.
The sentience of the gas doesn't make a lot of sense, and then they do have like these bodies right at the bottom, but it's very well established that these bodies can only run on the gas produced in the bodies.
Yeah.
And then the bodies all decay, and somehow the things continue to operate.
Yeah.
Just don't look at it too hard. Just let it happen is pretty much what's happening.
Just accept it. It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening. You're just getting some crazy horror idea that Junji Ito just wanted to share with you. He didn't flesh it out or anything. He just threw it out there. I don't know. Maybe that's unfair.
Did you know that there's an animated movie on Gyo?
Really?
Yeah.
Is it well received?
32% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Nope.
All right. Is it the fault of an adaptation, or
is it just the
baseline story not being great?
That's
All right, no, I looked up a picture. It looks rough.
does it look rough? Okay, that's
The-
been kind of just not to get into too much of a tangent here, but that's kind of the case that I've found with all of Judo's adaptations is they're all just like not good.
Uzumaki, I didn't watch it, but apparently, like the first episode was really, really good, and then after that, they didn't have time to finish it, and so it's just kind of not great.
What does that mean? They didn't have time to finish it.
Like finish animation, because the entire thing was rotoscoped,
Oh dang.
and
Okay.
they just didn't have time. Like the animation studio did not have time to finish the episodes, and so they were just published not well done.
That's disappointing. I watched the first episode. I never got past that though. The first episode did look pretty good. But I'd heard some nightmares about the rest. That's what Wikipedia says the reception of this was super, super big. So in France, Guillaume was nominated at the 37th annual International Comics Festival and placed the manga at number 1 on her favorite spooky manga list, Catherine Dacey.
France is weirdly like a big like purchaser of manga.
Are they?
Yeah. They have like a lot of like budget for like the arts
Yeah.
in like schools and whatnot. So like they just buy a lot of manga. It's just
They're just eating it up.
like France got a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure like translation long before the US did, or long before there was an English.
Oh dang. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that is that why what's his I can't remember the mangaka of that one.
Or
Hideki.
Hirohiko. I'm gonna get it's Araki. That's his last name.
Yes, Araki.
I'm
He
gonna-
did a lot
Hirohiko.
of Hirohiko Araki. He did a lot of stuff that takes place in France for JoJo's.
Italy.
Isn't it?
Part 5 was in
Right.
Italy.
It is Italy. Okay. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It was Italy, it was the US, it was Japan, and then like the world. The US has gotten 2 or 3 because Steel Ball Run is in the US, JoJo Lion or JoJo Leon is in the US. I don't know what JoJo World is in that one.
That's the newest one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about that one. But Josephine Fortune of Mania gave it an A, praising the artwork. That's fair. That makes sense.
I saw a picture of the fish and they look like plastic toys.
Oh, no, this is for the manga. This is not for the anime. No, this is for the manga.
Josephine, have better taste, please.
Right. Please, Josephine, calm down. Don't be such an... This final volume may be one of the most genuinely nauseating books ever to blight a shelf. There we go.
Oh my
God. That
God.
is true.
I was eating dinner at the time too.
Oh no.
Don't recommend that.
No. This was one that I read in bed before going to sleep. I have a bad habit of doing that.
I did that with Uzumaki.
Yeah.
I did that. 'Cause I read this in one sitting after recording Speaking Bones Part 1 last night. And so I just
through it.
Yeah, I like 2 hours. I ate dinner and I read Gyo.
Okay. Yeah. I did a couple chapters a day, but that was strictly for my own measure. Like not I could have probably listened about 2 hours, but
Yeah, it was a quick read.
It is a really quick read. And honestly, like it's one of those stories where you barely even have to pay attention to the text. Like you could probably get away with most of it just looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the best part of it. And that's why we read the manga to begin with, right?
Yeah, like I would still recommend people read this.
Yeah, absolutely. We have been
beautiful.
We've been tearing it up, but Junji Ito, bar none, best art that I've ever seen in a comic book. And there's some tough competitors there. Like
Mira for Berserk.
Fiona Apple for Saga.
Yep.
There's some truly beautiful artwork in comic books, but this is the stuff that always sticks with me the most.
Well, it's hard to get some of the imagery out of your head of him like laying in the pit of the fish, staring up to like all the ghost like gas,
just watching that's beautiful,
and being
that's like
crawled all over by the insect-sized fish.
I'll make a bold statement. A lot of those scenes where he's looking at the gas with the spirits, like
incredible,
ranking up there with like Starry Night and stuff. Like just absolutely haunting to look at.
Did this isn't about Gyo, but it's in the book. Did you read the
Oh,
two kind of short stories at the end?
the bonus stories, yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking later. The last one is
So good.
so good. I actually was looking. People think. Let me see if I.
The Enigma of Amagara Fault.
Yeah. People think that's like Junji Ito's best work. A lot of
It
people
was
rank
yeah.
it up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that one in particular actually has some really funny connections to Uzumaki to me, like the compulsion to follow
Mhm.
through on things and to
Yeah.
push yourself to these limits that are
Impossible.
impossible and distort you, and the idea that you're like doomed to repeat that cycle over and over and over.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And then the other one, the sad tale of the principal post, was yeah. I do like the idea. It's like it's a metaphor, literally, of a father putting the family on his back, like
Yeah.
in the most
Yeah.
literal version. And like the question, like we still don't know how he ended up under the post.
Doesn't matter.
Done. Doesn't matter. He's done. But that one, yeah, that one doesn't really. I'm surprised that they even. What do you think of the Amagara fault?
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
I got to the end of this and I'm like, oh, bonus stories? Meh, I don't need to read these. And then I was like, I got time, you know. And so I read the first one. I read the sad tale of the principal post and I went, okay. Sure. But the fault of Amagara, the enigma of Amagara fault, it's just so much more haunting.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of kept reading it, because it was just like, I want to know what happens. I mean, and you can predict what happens, but it's still
Sure. But I think there's something. This is again like Ito's art playing into the haunting bit of it, is that he details
yeah,
it so perfectly that when you look at the silhouettes, they do look like the outlines of the people in front of them.
yeah.
And it's just really unsettling. And like,
Honestly, oh, go ahead.
oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say honestly, I don't think he needed to add the several months later part.
That's what I was gonna just say. Yeah,
Yeah,
I totally agree. I was like, I don't even think you need that last page.
we know what happens.
Yeah,
We don't need to see that.
I mean, it's. I guess it does put the final nail in the coffin, right? Like we we know for sure now, but no, I think the idea of just honestly, there's something special about just leaving them unknown. They just walk into their holes, and like you said, we know what happens. We don't
Yeah,
need to see it.
it's definitely like almost the inverse of the ending of Gale, where we can probably guess what happens, but it's like okay.
Yeah,
but 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 the ending of this one is like we know what happens, and it's horrifying.
yeah, it's just awful. And I like the incorporation of the dream sequences into this one a lot more than
Yeah,
I like the dreams. Well, are they dream sequences? Yeah, I'll call it a dream sequence when he sees Kaori's face in the gas.
the kind of visions.
Yeah, I mean he was asleep for a month, so who
Yeah,
knows what if that was actually real? But
in a coma.
yeah, but that one again doesn't really give me anything. Whereas then in this story, I get something out of knowing that this is a reincarnation cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, um, whereas,
So for those who haven't read Gyo and are somehow here, buy the book. Don't read Gyo, and read the Enigma of Amagara Fault.
yes, it's the best one. We managed to take 10 minutes out of the 10 minutes out of the Gyo podcast just to talk about it.
I'm gonna say it's probably an indication of what we think about a book when we spend half the time talking about other things we've read.
Right. I it's just so hard. I feel so bad because this is like a fine book. There's nothing like ultimately
At
wrong
least
with
we're
it.
talking about books we've read by the same author.
Yeah.
At least it's that. Yeah.
But it's just so lacking in substance outside of the visuals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there speaking of, is there anything else you want to talk about? real quick before we?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Yeah. Okay.
I don't think
I
this book was a waste of time. I will say that.
This was a fun little read to do in the
Yeah.
Halloween season. Yeah.
I want to. It's in an effort to read more horror. I do need to pick up because I have so many of Junji Ito books on my shelf.
That's the trick, right? Is
So I may pick up another couple. I heard his Frankenstein one is really good
okay.
for people who like Frankenstein.
And there's a movie coming out this year. Just saying.
In a week. In a week.
Yep. And just get that in there too. Yeah, I think for me, I think I'm gonna pick up Tomie at some point, and then I don't think it's it's horror. I don't know if it's fantasy, which is why we opted not to do it this year, but No Longer Human.
Hey, I convinced you guys to read Solonin, and then I got flack for introducing a non-fantasy, non-sci-fi book into the green team. But you know what? I've looked up our rules and our kind of our bylaws for green team recording, and it's you could read whatever you want.
That's right. We still don't know how metaphorical that demon is. I saw the little things running around.
True.
No, it's definitely a fantasy book, but it was still great to talk about and had so much more depth. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us for our little ramblings on this little Gyo, but also just Junji Ito in general. Please join us on the Legendarium Discord server to continue the discussion. We love talking our horror stuff, especially right now. Thanks go to Craig and the Legendarium and Horizon Brave for starting the green team. Intro and outro music is Galactic Damages by Jingle Punks. And check us out on YouTube. We have audio recordings there now. Panda's done an amazing job of lining up a bunch of our series so that you can listen to those in playlists and get us wherever podcasts are sold. For Spook, I'm Jingalls. Thanks for listening.
Good night.